And hello and welcome to Uptown Tonight. Oh man, we've had some technical difficulties and all the other fun stuff getting on here. And it's our first premiere version of doing this through Zoom. We have Dan, Mr. Solovitz, right above me on here. So we can all say hi to Mr. Solovitz here. And if you're in the chat room or anything else, yeah, by all means, give us a chat or ask a question or anything else out there, whatever you need to do. But first, the best thing you can do for us is to like, subscribe, and all that. We are almost to 100 subscribers, and I would love it to death tonight if we can break that 100. I know it doesn't sound like much, but to us, that's a huge milestone. So, especially just being a little podcast coming out of the Fargo Moorhead area, because we are your Fargo Moorhead weekly entertainment podcast. So I'm just going to go through a few things that we did last weekend. Now, Mr. Solovitz, since I am a little bit short on the technology department, he's not going to be able to see any of this, but he'll be able to listen in as we go through our weekend fun. So you can see here we got Brady with Tyler, and we were out at the Diamond Lounge last weekend just hanging on out, basically bucking the snow the entire time, and that was always good. I have a couple of quick videos as soon as I find them again. So that was the first one. The second was pretty much the same thing. That's going back down. So there's our stage for the last weekend, and that was all fun and everything else. But I do have a Mustang Minute for you. We do have an
broke down Mustang. And did it. I just bought a new Switch. Isn't she shiny?
For those side before, I've been working on trying to get the headlights going.
New. Old. New. All right, she's back in.
And I just broke down, just bought a new headlight switch instead of trying to clean the other one up, and I lost a little spring in it anyways.
Look at that. New light switch. Okay, so we're going to pull this bulb out just to see if there's power getting there or not, and then we'll just retrace it back from there.
Yeah, because everything works except for the passenger headlight.
Get this off. It's a little pitted.
Ah, pony eyeball! No! Well, you got a little something there. So you'll have to wait until next week to see if the bulb becomes lit again. We'll find out. We shall find out. So let's get over to Dan anyways. I'm pretty boring. So, Dan, how's it going out there?
I'm doing just fine down here in the Grove. How about yourself?
Down in the Grove, yes. This is our first time we're zooming everyone in and all that fun stuff, so hopefully this can expand out to something even more. But Dan is a producer and a composer and all sorts of fun stuff. So this is going to be a really interesting one. I've known Dan since
1993.
93. Okay, Dan's got the date down. It's been a long, long time, and we have had many adventures together ourselves. And he was one of the people that he inspired the Off the Roof section of here, and then also he's also seen my old Mustang that kind of looks like the newer one, but that's a different thing.
1.5.
But let's get to know Dan a little bit. Dan, where did you start from besides your mother, and like, how did life begin for you?
Well, I'm from the Twin Cities. I was born in Brooklyn Park and went to high school at Park Center for a year, and then moved on up to Fargo. That's where I met you.
Yep, because you were at Fargo North at that time.
Exactly.
Because it was the weirdest part. I was from Moorhead, and I had no friends in Moorhead, but I had friends at Fargo North mostly, and then Holly and a couple out of Fargo South. So.
Well, that was drum corps.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only people I hung out with.
Yeah. So we met there, and man, I'm a drummer, piano, violin, all that stuff when I was a kid. But
violin? When'd you start violin?
5th grade.
5th grade?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I switched over to viola, though, because there were too many violin players, and the competition was fierce. So switched over to viola, and turns out I didn't really like that so much. I wanted to play drums, so that's what I started.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah, well, there's something about just beating something and doing it with skill that makes life good. So yeah, that's what I started doing.
The tribal thrill.
Exactly. So I met you doing drum corps, and
so when did you start drums then? Because if you were doing viola, like that must have been 6th grade, 7th grade.
Yeah, it was in 8th grade I started doing drums.
Okay, so you were a latecomer to the band program, or?
Yes. Yeah, I was in the orchestra until 8th grade.
Okay. And then your orchestra teacher got mad, and you went over to the band side. Gotcha.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was the same guy. So it's.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, it was junior high. So.
Yeah.
Dr. Freilich at Brooklyn Junior or Northview. I don't remember, but either way, yeah, man. So drums just kind of became my thing, and the amount of time. I mean, let's be honest here. How much time have we spent working on drums over the years and our skills? I mean, it's a very unique thing. I suppose it's like any other instrument, but the detail work that goes into it, it's like almost as much mental as it is physical. And I think I still, if I'm driving down the street, I find myself tapping with my fingers, and I'm doing like Scottish rudiments and stuff like that.
Oh, of course.
To just stuff on the radio. So it's something that's ingrained in my brain, and it's going to be there forever, I suppose. So anyway, I went to after high school, I went to college. I went to Illinois Wesleyan University down in sunny Bloomington, Illinois. Probably the flattest place outside of Fargo Moorhead in the entire country.
Bloomington
so
normal.
I left Fargo for Fargo, basically. But yeah, so I went there and I did. I was a performance major, percussion performance, and then I switched over to composition. And I'd always kind of done, my own little recordings at home, a couple of tape decks going back and forth in the garage.
Oh,
making my neighbors
interesting.
Angry, that kind of stuff. And then in college, computers made things a lot more accessible. So I was able to pretty much do what I wanted and just kind of try out a lot of things. There was some good stuff and a whole lot of crap, but that's just sort of the way it goes.
Well, that's how you start out with anything. All the beginning stuff's usually junk, but that's how you get going.
Yeah,
Definitely how you get going. But we're going to bring you back here a little bit, because I know in high school you were doing all the composition stuff in your basement, and I used to sit up with you nightly all the time, at least during the summertime, and just be working on stuff. And it was always amazing to me how you figured out like how the notes worked, and not really like standard notation. You had to figure out some math type thing to go behind it to actually make things work along with you. I don't know. To me, that was always just like, how do you do this? And you had like the whole rack and everything else. So you started composition well before that. And I didn't even realize that you went to Wesleyan for percussion performance. I always thought it was just straight up that you're always going for the composition side or recording or whatever it was.
Oh, no. I mean, I was a year and a half of percussion performance, and I mean, I still played throughout all of school, but the major changed. That's all.
Oh, okay.
So,
I
yeah,
didn't even realize that.
There's only so many timpani lessons you can take before you go, do I want to do this for the rest of my life? And sometimes people say, yeah. And for me, it was, yeah, no, I don't want to teach people to do this. I'm good enough at it. I mean, there was, yeah, I mean, if you're pretty good at something, it's easy to get, sucked into that direction, and you just sort of do. I mean, give me a xylophone, man. I'll whip you off some crazy stuff.
This is some George Hamilton Green. Here we go.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much how I was able, I think I got a scholarship because I could play mallets, and that was just something that people didn't really do a whole lot. So if you could do that, you could come in and you could be the section leader in a year, and that was cool. But I just found myself spending a lot more time wanting to write and create things as opposed to just perform them. And I just kind of I had this transition period of where I wanted to stop performing and start making stuff for other people to perform.
Gotcha.
That's what happened.
Do you do any drumming anymore? Like playing any community bands or just jamming in the garage?
If I go into, like, if we book a studio or something and I go in and there's a kit set up, I'll sit down and I'll throw down for a little bit. But I actually sold my drums about 4 years ago.
No, the red ones, the CV700s? Or it's Percussion Plus. Never mind.
The Percussion Plus.
How dare I?
Here's the difficult part is that my cymbals were worth 10 times what my kit was.
Oh, yeah.
But that just kind of went as a package deal. Well, I had a kid, and you just go, when am I ever going to be able to play these again? Right now. And so, yeah, just basically, who wants a drum set? Full set with cymbals. It's good stuff. But yeah, so I don't play, but I mean, like I said, I do on the keyboard right here every day. It's a different type of drumming. So I can play a beat with my fingertips that would rival what I did, sitting behind a drum kit. And then the beautiful part is I don't have to mic it up and I don't have to make it sound the way I want. I can just pick my sounds and go from there. So
gotcha. I remember you doing that back in the day too, where you sit there and just do the whole thing just with the fingers. So
it is nice to play though, man. It's a workout, and it's I used to I think for about 10 years I never lost an arm wrestle challenge.
That's right.
Of drumming, because it's all about right here and then right here.
Forearm Popeye strength.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I don't really play anymore, but I do the same thing. It's just in a different method. That's all.
Gotcha.
I have not touched a marimba in 20 years. Probably maybe 10 years. Last time I think probably the time I was visiting you up there is probably the last time I touched a marimba.
Oh, when I still had mine, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're gone now.
No kidding?
I'm sad. Yes, that's
man. Well,
life gets you, and you want to keep the house. Well, certain things got to go. So
exactly. Marimba mortgage payment. Marimba mortgage payment.
No.
Marimba.
I'm still sad about that. Both of them I had were freaking awesome. I don't know. I loved them both, but no. One went to a good home. The other one, yeah. I'm not going to say anything about that.
Well, yeah. So anyway, I mean, after college, so I had a composition degree. What do you do with that?
Exactly.
And I went out to LA because that's what you do when you don't know what the hell you're going to do. So I went to LA and I got a degree in audio engineering. So that was like a certificate kind of deal. And immediately just got hired out there. So I worked about 3 jobs out there for a year and made no money, but the experience was incredible. I mean, I met some people they're like Mike Percaro.
Oh yeah.
Like I didn't even, it's just amazing. These people that would come through at the studios I was at, and I wouldn't even know who they were until they were gone. And then some guy would come and say, hey, you might want to take those bass strings out of the trash. You might want to take those. You could sell them someday, And I had no idea. Luis Conte, percussionist,
Yes.
comes in, does this for 12 seconds and makes $500 and walks out the door. It was incredible to see. So that was
Just to
pretty
put
cool.
his name in the note liners, yeah.
Exactly, and just comes in, does his union scale, and kills it, and then just walks out. Also, one of the places I worked was doing post-production, so we were working on Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the TV show, putting in footsteps and door, handles and all that kind of stuff. And so I just
interesting.
it was a place called Pacific Sound Waves. And I learned a lot from those guys. And one of the other studios was the Jungle Room, and I learned a lot from Kevin and Brian. Brian Reeves, he mixed, he engineered or mixed, I don't recall, but he did a lot of Billy Idol back in the 80s. And he also did a lot of soundtracks like Top Gun and Breakfast Club.
Oh, interesting.
Things like that. Yeah, so I just see how he would work with vocals. Nice. There you are. Yeah,
That's one of our backgrounds.
Discount Tom Cruise, right?
That's correct. I still don't understand that one, but I somehow got that for long-term subbing at Fargo North.
There's a similarity. It is a discount, though.
A huge discount.
Yeah.
We're at Five Below on this one.
Yep. We're coming in under scale. But anyway, really cool people and very helpful. And I don't know. LA is an interesting place. There's a lot of crap in LA, but there's also some really, really good folks. A lot of transplants, people who just end up there. And the people that I met cared about helping the next generation, which was pretty unusual.
Yeah, I would think so.
I mean, it shouldn't be unusual, but it just kind of is, because, this is music is a tough business, and every business is a tough business. It's when you own your own business, you realize that everything is competition, even if it's not. People that you work with, people you're friends with, people that you want to work with, and all that stuff. To find some people that actually care about helping you out and getting you to the next stage is pretty lucky. So I consider myself very lucky in that regard. Like when I left LA, I came back, I moved back to Fargo, and my old boss, he booked me like flying lessons in Fargo because he was a pilot, and I'd been like saying that'd be really cool. And so that was his parting gift to me was, hey, I'm going to get you some lessons. So now, granted, I never finished it, but it is really cool to fly a plane, even when there's a guy, when there's a guy next to you actually doing it. But
I didn't even know that when you came back that you were doing that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So, yeah, it was pretty fun.
My whole thing is I want to go learn how to do helicopters. I don't know why.
Are you a Bill Burr fan?
It got that too, but it was before that. It was an old lady friend of mine her brother got my mind thinking about it at one point, and then it just keeps coming back, and it's like I have no idea where you even start with that type of stuff. So
I
didn't come up with the bank to actually do it too.
Helicopters would be neat, but my whole thing is the auto rotation thing. No,
just timing.
I'm in a Chevette with a thing going like this, and I'm going to try and land it without an engine. No thanks.
Oh, I missed the Chevette.
I'd rather glide a plane in into the lake or whatever. That's much easier for me. But yeah, so
so great experience out in LA. Well, that's
yeah, it was good. And then I came back. I moved back to Fargo. I worked at a TV station, WDAY.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I was an engineer. Learned a few things there too. Just a very different style of business, but it was kind of cool to go out and do live shots with the satellite truck and all that stuff.
Diversification.
And then I met some people who kind of had a hookup with a company in Minneapolis, and that did commercial music. So I got together with them and played them some stuff, and they brought me on. So I moved back to the cities, and yeah, man, they taught me the business. Bob Hess, Steve Kramer, Jim Weber, they showed me how you take a client's vision and put it into 30 seconds for a TV commercial. And so worked there for a couple of years, and they just kind of gave me the foundation. There's a lot of foundation. This world would not work without people that give a shit about other people. So it was pretty cool to be with them. And then I went on my own, and I've been on my own since 2006. So I started Punch Music, doing the same thing, commercials and sound design and whatever, and the occasional record, and which records are a challenge.
I imagine
Your vision, like dealing with an ad agency folks are great, and they're smart, and they know what they want, but they're really good at saying what they want. Whereas a singer who has this vision for their song, it's really, they don't
want to sound like Pantera with Sepultura and a little bit of I Hate God in the middle of it.
Yeah, well, that would be great.
With the Slayer intro. Can we get that going?
Yeah, there's a lot of if we could make it a little bit more friendly or bright, and you're like, okay, what does that mean musically? You can think of things that would mean musically, but you have to figure it out. So so I've been doing that for 15 years now, and then just in the last couple of years I partnered up with just an incredible dude, Chris B. Harris, and we started Mayhem Music, and we're focusing on production music. So
okay,
you've got your mainstream music and your commercial music, and then you've got your production music. The production music, we're creating pieces that are ready to go, basically. So if somebody says, oh, I would like to use this Justin Timberlake song, and you say, well, we don't have $500,000, so let's find something that's good and in the same vein and is really good. And so like we're focused on that. So Mayhem Music's been around for about 2.5 years now. We've done hundreds of songs. We're placed with several of the larger production music houses, and we've had some fun stuff on TV and film, and yeah, man, we're just having a good time. So what I'm really enjoying with Mayhem is the artists I get to work with a lot of commercial stuff. When you're doing 30 seconds of music for an ad, it's usually just instrumental. Sometimes you get a singer in, but what we're doing now is mainly we're doing full-length songs, and we've got these incredible singers and writers that are they'll come into the studio and bam, 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 they got 3 songs done. They send it my way, and then I produce it. So that's kind of what we're doing now. Incredible soul singer, R&B, hip hop artists, male and female. Just really, it's fun, man, to just have people send me their best, and then I just take it and do what I think would make it better. And it turns out a lot of the time it works. So that's pretty much where I'm at, man. So
cool. So this whole producing side of it, what do you actually do to it then? Do you add beats in? Do you add little extras, or you master it? I don't know. You'll have to educate me on all this.
Take a vocal and take everything else away, and that's what I do, is I add everything in. So drums and guitar and bass and all that, and then I'll take the vocal and I'll clean it up or tune it if it needs to be. Depends on the style. Sometimes tuning is good, sometimes it's not. All the production details, compression, EQ, limiting, all that fun stuff.
Well, interesting. So I got a bunch of like samples of what you've done here, and this first one is basically what I thought was like not the eclectic, but it was the different things, instead of like you got a lot of hip hop and a lot of rap rock and that type of stuff in here. But this first one is like 1.5 minutes, 15-second segments here. So basically you can explain it here at the end. I'll just play it for everyone.
I hustle, I hit, I'll never go quit, go hard, you know what's up, never let good enough be enough. I hustle, I hit. It's
or is this just something that you wrote in?
Yeah, that's my
Is that? Excellent. And SpongeBob. So was all that keyboard drums? Or is there some live stuff in there?
No,
Besides the marimba?
The one, Let's Dance, that was live drums.
That was live drums?
Yes.
So was
that
that actually NCAA something? Or is...
Yeah, it was. That was the runner-up to the theme for the NCAA.
Oh!
That's all right. I still got
No.
it got played. It just wasn't the theme. It got played in the first commercial break or something, and it was cool. But yeah, you always want the thing. It's like, you know.
Well, that thing hits hard. Because I could listen to that one a few times.
I was going for just straight up anthem on that one, and hey, we got there. It just, you know, you want the actual theme. You don't want the. You almost got it, but it's not quite the same. You know, you get the theme for MLB or something like that, and you get to say something. But if you get, yeah, we're gonna play some of your stuff on MLB, it's just a little bit different. But still, it's fun.
Now, so you got any background on any of that? So that end thing was just some kind of bumper music type deal. That at least that's what it said in the thing. I remember that.
Yeah.
And then what was the deal with you singing and?
Yeah, well, you don't want to ever. I gave you one track that had me singing, and you had to play it on the podcast.
Yes, I had to. It was the only one.
Yeah,
I was
well,
going
that was
to rip
good.
some of the old stuff that we did way back in the day, or I had a little bit of something to do with.
You know, we're dating ourselves, but that was the late 90s.
Yes.
And I did a lot of experimentation with you know, tuning effects and stuff like that on voices, and I kind of had this. I was really into Daft Punk and stuff like that as far as detail-oriented stuff. So, and I was trying to figure out how to do that. And, you know, that clip you played, I hadn't figured it out, but I was trying. So, yeah, I don't really sing ever. I can hold a tune, but no one really wants to hear it, and that's fine. So what I'm best at is taking other people that can actually do it and then making it the way that I want to hear. So working with real singers is insane. It's like working with a real drummer or with a real bass player where you're just like, holy God, that's how you do it. I see. I play bass, I play guitar, I play drums, I play keyboards, I play kazoo, I play whatever, but I'm not great at any of that. But what I can do is take short bits of what I do, play it 8 times, and then I can cut it down, and boom, suddenly I played guitar in the song if I loop it right and all that stuff. So,
But you got the vision on it all too, so.
well, yeah, I mean, I guess
Yes,
what it comes down to is I know what I like to hear, and that's about it. And so if I can, you know, back in the day, I knew what I liked to hear then too, but I couldn't do it. And I still am working on that every day, but I kind of found, when I was working at Heston Kramer, I kind of found a point where I said, I can actually, if I just try, I can do it. And if somebody says, hey, we want a mariachi band doing this or that with this melody, and it has to be this long, I sort of realized, oh, with the assignment, I can do it. And you just figure it out. So you figure, you know, there's a lot of really bad horn samples out there, but you figure out how to use the ones that are good, and suddenly it sounds real. So same thing with pretty much all production in general. You find your tricks, you find the things that you know you're good at, and you find the things that you're not good at that you figure out a solution for. And next thing you know, I mean, like that Hawaiian piece you played, Come On, I Wanna Lay Ya. That one, that's me playing the ukulele, And believe me, you wouldn't want to see me do that live, but if you take it and you have your own time in the studio to record it and make sure it's in tune, which is, what is it with ukuleles, man? How do you keep those things in tune?
Well, they're just garbage.
Well, I know,
They're toys.
There are good ones, but you pretty much have to tune it every minute and a half.
Oh, yeah.
But you can make it sound good, and if you record it, and you record it in a decent quality, then it's forever. So it's pretty cool. There's something about making something sound huge that you can't really do on demand. You know, I have an accordion. I can play the accordion, but I'm not good at it. But I can layer stuff into a track, and now there's accordion in there. And so, you know, you figure out the things that you're good at, and you figure out the things you need to work on, and things you need to work on, you either do or you don't. I've been telling myself for years that I'm going to do this guitar thing. I'm going to know what I'm doing. And I don't, but I have enough techniques that I can make something sound as if I do. You don't want to hire me to go out on tour. That's for sure.
Well, that's the nice thing about being in the band I'm in now, is that right now I got 3 strong singers in front of me. So
no kidding.
They no way am I getting a mic in front of my face at all, except for like this. So I could talk on the interwebs, but yeah, no singing. So no, it's really, really cool. And then we got, they can actually play. We're doing click and all that other fun stuff with backing tracks. And yeah, this thing is, I don't know. I just love the band I'm in right now. So these guys are awesome.
That's great, man. Where are you guys playing?
This weekend, we're going to be down in Minneapolis, basically auditioning. So it's the Minnesota Festival something convention. So it's where all the county fairs and stuff, the people that run those, they come together, and then we get to be like a sideshow, and they get to watch us and see if they like us or not, want to hire us in for next summer or for the next rotations they have in. So
what are you playing for your audition?
Our audition, we got 6 tunes. You can make me think about this. Mr. Brightside, straight into
nice. Ozzy?
No, we don't do anything like that.
Come on.
Dang, you're making me think about this now. Okay, until Dirt on My Boots, which is Padre, I think that's the guy's name. And then to Whiskey Glasses, on to Fancy Like, Chicken Fried, of course. You got to do a little Chicken Fried, and then some Shania Twain. I'm blowing the name, Shania Twain. I Feel Like a Woman. So that's going to be our audition.
Do you feel like a woman?
They do it very, very well. As our main front guy, man. He's got a voice on him, and he looks like the little surfer dude that everyone wants to go with. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice edit that. Everyone wants to.
Yep. No, that's Brady. He's great. So we're all working on that. But here, let's hear a few more of your things, and then I'm going to get into the weekly report here. But I want to hear, I think this is the R&B gospel stuff, I think. That must be the end of that. But yeah, huge, soulful. I got to ask you this one question before I go to the weekly report. Is that
All right.
the groove on all this, is that all from you? Or is there some outside influences that are sneaking in there? And I'm going to make you hold on to that. And
Sure.
you'll explain here in just in a minute, but I'm going to do the weekly report. And I stole one of your little ditties to put in the background, too, just to hip it up a little bit more. You had something in there like news broadcast or whatever. So I just threw it in the back. Now, granted, yeah, I haven't asked you if I could use it or not. But I'm just going to use it anyways. So here we go. The weekly report. And today we are missing Cito, but it's going to be okay. Cito, we miss you. Hope you get better. I know I wasn't feeling well, so this is what the weekly report's going to be today. So we got our Uptown at the Windbreak. Sushi Roll is going to be there Thursday and Friday, the 13th and 14th. On Saturday, we got Stuck in the Middle at the Southtown Poorhouse in Grand Forks. Slamabama is hitting the stage on Friday, and Sushi Roll will be up there on Saturday, right after their Windbreak. Let's see, Shooting Star Monoman, Leanne Rhymes will be on Friday, I'm sure on the main stage, and then Pasian will be on the Mustang Lounge on Friday as well. The Sanctuary Events Center in Fargo will have Dead South with Rainbow Girls this Should have thought ahead and brought the keyboard with me. There we go. And Downtown Acoustic Corner on Thursday, January... It's not the 6th, January 13th, I would believe. Todd Sissons at the Cork and Cleaver, Sean Mitzi Mitzel at the Swing Barrel Brewing, and Rick Adams at J.C. Chumley's on Friday. I think it's the 14th. There's Mick Klein at Tailgaters, and Saturday, January the 15th. I hope I'm right on these. We got Wayne J. MacArthur at the DFW in West Fargo, Michael Pink at Unwind in Dilworth, R&R is at the Silver Spike, and I believe that's in Dilworth as well. Then we're going downtown with J.C. Chumley's. We're going to have October Road on Saturday the 15th. I will try with the date. Side Street, the Founding Fathers will be there Thursday, tomorrow night. Bar 9, J.T. Kennelly Band will be there on Friday. And at the Cellar, we have Matthew Broussard and Mike Early. And that's some good old stand-up comedians there. It looks like they're from Comedy Central and everything on Friday night. So if you need some stand-up, the Cellar's a place to be. And Fargo VFW, we have Raw Sugar Friday and Saturday. Sons of Norway downtown. We have Moving Parts on Thursday. Mike Holtz will be on the stage on Saturday. And then we have a Bluegrass Jam on Tuesday, the 18th. At the Fargo Brewing Company, we have Zach Thomas's album release with Brian Laurie on this Saturday. The Elks Club, we have the 3rd Street Blues Band also on Saturday. And continuing downtown, we have Dempsey's Tripping Leslie will be there Friday the 14th. So go out and see some Fuka. He'll be out there. Low Standards on Saturday. It'll be Dempsey's. At the Aquarium, we have Poise and Peace. Feeling Fine release show Friday the 14th. And then here's all the fun names that we always get to say on Saturday the 15th. We have Dimension Jumpers with Dead Sonic, Optical Illusion, Sloshy, DJ Superwill. Be out there on Saturday. At the DCR, the Drum Con Wrath, right down tonight, we have our very own Red Monk and Wolf Girls out there playing. I don't have that on the board here, but they are playing probably right as we speak. And there's open mic night tomorrow night at the Drum Con Wrath on Thursday. Also, at the Delta Urban 42, Kathy Brecky and the 42nd Street Jazz Band is always there Thursday nights. I shouldn't say always, but most of the time. So if you want to get some good jazz on, that's the place to be on Thursdays. And now we're out of town at the Original in Minot. Frantic Anarchy is there Friday and Saturday the 14th and 15th. At the Laughing Sun Brewing, our favorite brewing company in the Bismarck area is Ben Sushi. On Thursday, Prairie Road on Friday, and Walking Phoenix with Porch Light Orange on Saturday. Sandbar 2 in Detroit Lakes, 2 weeks notice will be hitting the stage on Friday. At Arthur's Barn, October Road will be out there Friday night as well. And at Zorba's, the shirt I am wearing in Park Rapids, Tripwire will be hitting out there on Friday the 14th. And that is our weekly report this evening. We got lots of stuff like okay, I think I figured it out. That was crazy.
It's crazy. Wow, man.
All right, this is why doing it yourself gets kind of hairy.
Yeah, you're like an auctioneer, dude. That was incredible.
Oh.
Micro machine, man.
Got him out there. All right, so back to the question here. Groove or no groove, or how did the groove show up into there? Is that all you there, Dan?
It depends on the song. There are some, most of the time I'll just get vocals and then just make something around it. So yeah, everything, I just build it up from, I'll clean up the vocals and get them laid in with some chords, and then just basically go, all right, let's get some drums going, and then let's get a bass, and then you just kind of shape it. So yeah, the feels and stuff like that, for the most part, are just things that I come up with based on what I want to hear. Some of the artists we work with, like Wesley Bright, he's the guy that did Do It, and you played it just now, and I Got It Bad. He knows what he wants to hear, and so he gives me a lot of direction. Like, maybe the guitar at this point comes in and goes ding-a-ding, ding-a-ding. And so he'll tell me stuff like that, or he'll lay down a bass, or he'll just speak it to me over a voice memo. Boom, 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 boom. So
then you just interpret really, from there, huh?
Yeah, and I'll just pick up the bass and I'll play what he said. And
cool.
In the case of soul and R&B, I mean, he's kind of a curator of that genre. So I just defer to him when he's like, yeah, we should. And then the horns come in and they do the ba-da-da, ba-da-da. And I just do that, and then it turns out it works. So, but most of the time, it's just singers or rappers that they give me what they give me based on the beat that they recorded to in the studio. They'll just record to just kind of a generic beat, and then I just strip all that out and just work with the vocals from the ground up. So, yeah, man.
No, I was digging the grooves all night last night when I was listening to them the first time. I was just one of those things like, oh man, yeah, that's got to be Dan and the Groove Central going there. And then he sent me that one when I was out working on my pony. Now 6-4. I don't know the heck the name of the song. I kept playing it over and over again. It's just
man. That one's been placed on like a car show. To be honest, that's the funny part. Is it was.
But I'm sure it's a '64 Impala.
Probably. Well, it didn't. Doesn't matter. The song is just what the song is. But yeah, they were working on a car or whatever, and that song's in the background. So
it was awesome. I just kept playing it. I didn't put it on the podcast stuff, but I just kept playing it, so it's on my phone.
That one was a production assist, I think, from a buddy named Mike. What's his last name? Murray. Either way, dude in Cleveland. I'm probably wrong on the name. Sorry about that. But yeah, he threw down the beat and stuff like that, and I basically just took that and went on as a mix. So yeah, and working with other producers is something that's really cool that we get to do too, where we've got 10 songs we need to get done for an album, so we I'll take care of 8 of them or something, and then we'll have other people come in and they'll work up the arrangements, and then I just take it and mix it from there. So, and that gives a nice variety to the sound, because if you listen to a whole bunch of my stuff, it ends up just you hear a lot of Dan in there. So
I heard a lot of Dan. I could definitely pick out a bunch of things. It's like, oh, that was a Dan.
It's nice to get some different perspectives and stuff like that.
But cool, we got some more here to listen to. So this next one, I believe, is going to be the hip hop. I believe it's a hip hop.
From the bottom to the top, elevation. This is. I'm motivated by the whack rappers, backstabbers, and the ones without a goal or vision, living haphazard, tap dancing around the truth with your tap talents. I go hard for what I do, but I
straight jumping. This club don't close till the morning. So why your section so boring? 50 bottles for the VIP, 49 girls with me, 4,800 tuned in, but it ain't TV. Spent like 47, 46 just on the wrist, now at 45.
Wasted, man, you gotta see her. Put sugar on my rim, no margarita. Bust it open for me low key. They ain't looking and you know that we ain't saying no Pete. Need your loving in the morning, we can keep it so cheap. Throw it back, roll around, shake the thing for me. Bust it open for me.
This my last time, or this my last night, like this my last ride. Living every day like this my last time, or this my last night, like this my last ride. Living every day like this my last time, or this my last night.
Stacking up a whole lot of bands. Stacking up a whole lot of bands. Stacking up a whole lot.
Playing with a gun, yeah, I run it 100, 200. When you want it, name a moment, no opponent, get a bone it, leave them swirling for quit playing with me. They gon' quit playing with me. Quit playing with me.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. A lot of the stuff you sent me was mostly hip hop. So is that mainly what you're working with right now?
Yeah, about 75% of the time, hip hop and pop, and then cinematic hybrids of them, basically.
Okay.
So, and we do, we've been doing a lot of. When I met Chris, we were working on rap rock together through a different company, and we I was mixing and producing the songs that he had recorded vocals on, and we kind of met that way. So we did, and we still do plenty of that. Rap rock is just great for like sports and that kind of stuff, background that's going on during the basketball highlights and stuff like that. So
Oh, yeah. Pumping up the jam. I'm dating myself.
something like that, yeah. Yeah, a little technotronic for you. But yeah, so like you heard Chris on a few of those, and you heard Kayla. She's just fantastic to work with. She does a lot of the hip hop that you just listened to, and then you got Wesley. He sings on different stuff as well, different styles. So he's on one of those that's more hip hop oriented. And
So they do this at your studio, or do they come in with these tracks?
they come in with these tracks. They're
Okay.
Most of them are based in Cleveland.
Oh,
So,
gotcha.
And I'm actually going to go down there next month and hang out. We're going to go to the studio and get to meet some of these people in person that I haven't yet. So, and we've been working together for years. It's just pretty cool. But yeah, they'll record. They recorded Jim Stewart recording, if I am correct on the name again. And I was right about Mike Murray. That is his name. So
Excellent.
How about that? Yeah. But yeah, they record there and they send me files. That's it. And there'll be
Fix this.
Well, yeah, it's just more like make this.
I know. I'm trying to make a joke out of it.
Here's the song, and the cool part about it is that vocal performers, there's really no substitute. I can come up with a hook or a melody, and I have over the years and everything. It's just there are people that are just better at that, and they do that, and then they lay it down, and it sounds great, and then all I do is polish, basically. So I do a lot of polishing, but sometimes it doesn't need to be done. Like a lot of Wesley's stuff, soul, we're doing like period pieces, basically set in the 50s, 60s, 70s.
Interesting. Okay.
And the goal is to not make it sound like we just did it, but we did just do it. So you want something to sound, in that case, you want something to sound like it could be on an Otis Redding album that you never heard. And so
There's the
we're
challenge.
messing around a lot with that. And then there's, let's make something sound as current as possible and tune that crap out of the vocals and all that.
So how would you do that then? Do you actually try to use older equipment for capturing the sounds, or?
Yeah, that would be ideal. It would be ideal to use, the microphones they would have used at the time and record it through a 2-inch tape deck and all that stuff. But basically, it's more just
Got a filter for a filter?
There's a lot of plugins that emulate those sounds.
Okay.
So that's what you kind of focus on and tube saturation and stuff like that. It doesn't actually have to be tube saturation. It can be a plugin that sounds really good like tube saturation. And you get that grit on the vocals that wasn't there when they recorded it, because they recorded it at a modern studio with a modern microphone. But if you take that and then you crunch it and give it a little distortion, you can drop it into the mix in a way that you couldn't. It doesn't have to sound like we just did it. So, and with production music, man, like it seems like the best thing you're looking for is timelessness. If you can have something last for 20 years and not sound like it's dated, then you're doing a good job. And
just like these pop tunes.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can hear 2006, you can hear 2010, you can hear 1994. But not always, if it's a good enough song and it's produced in the right way, it's just a great piece of music. And there are some artists that figured that out a long time ago. And it's interesting. Like Prince and people like that, like the choices they made were really unusual and seemed like they should date what they're doing. Now, granted, you listen to a lot of Prince and you're here in 1988, but some of it, it's just, why did you use that synth? I don't know, but you did, and now it's your sound and it works. So that's pretty cool. There's just it's decision making. What do you want to hear? What do you want people to hear?
Let's hear some of this pop stuff that you've done.
Sure.
So.
You've opened 1,000 times before, and what's waiting, baiting you? The monster. I've been riding high, I've been miles above ground. Do it for the glory, do it for the story, no one's gonna stop me now.
You wanna be the best? Then get in line. But you aren't taking my spot anytime. Doing the dance, everybody knows. Got eyes on the prize. Anywhere you go. It all on the line. I'ma get mine. Give it everything you got all the time. I'm claiming a victory. Gotta keep pushing forward. You gotta climb. This the moment where the grace are defined. This is victory music. This is your zone. This is victory music.
Oh, I think that's the end of that one. So there, you're going from your pop to some of your rap rock stuff, right?
Yep. Yeah. And Steph Trivison is the singer on the first two that you played there. She's just fantastic. Just say, hey, give me something that sounds kind of like in this genre, and boom, you get a song. She's fantastic.
Wow, just the sound is so clean. It's just nice, just easy to listen to.
Yeah, well, that's you figure out how to record things clean, and with vocals especially. Like if I get vocals that are, sometimes you get them. It sounds like somebody recorded in their bathroom on a laptop, and you just go, I can't do anything with that. But if somebody like Steph, she's got the whole home set up and she knows what she's doing. So when she records, it's clean, it's crisp, it's exactly what you need. And I can do whatever I want with it. I can make it sound like it's in a bathroom, or I can distort it or do whatever.
I'm going to put it back on that laptop for you.
Yeah. So start with good material, you end with better material, pretty much.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to preface this because we have to get to our little juvenile destruction of the week here, which I'll have to say as well is that Mr. Dan here, back in the day, I think he had a lot to do with the idea of throwing stuff off the roof back in those days, and where all this came from in the first place. So I'm going to ask Dan this one question, and it's mainly for me. It's basically when he was back in California, what was one of the more famous people that you met that you just really enjoyed meeting? And I'm going to let you hang on to that one and think about it. But here's this week's Off the Roof. Dan, I wish you could see this, but you'll just have to go back and watch it again.
perfect
I'm not
day
gonna tell
too.
Dan.
You're hired.
All right. And
From the bottom to the top, elevation. This is. I'm motivated by the whack rappers, backstabbers, and the ones without a goal or vision, living haphazard.
And there we go. So that was this week's Off the Roof. A little bit of mayhem after that. Sorry, what?
Yeah. You're doing mashups now, huh?
You know me, I'm always trying to push the edge here.
Exactly. So you
So,
were asking about
Famous
people
person
that-
that kind of meant something when you met them.
Oh, you didn't say that before.
Well,
You said
it's something like
I
in that
enjoyed.
vein. Who you enjoyed, yes.
Yeah. Look, musicians was a huge deal, and producers. I met, what's his name? Mike Schlesinger. He produced TLC,
Okay.
and I was an assistant engineer, so my job was to make coffee and set up microphones. And
I was going to say the coffee joke, but I didn't want to be mean.
no, I did that at every place I worked. It's just what you do. Somebody's got to make the coffee, right?
Oh, yeah.
How they like it. But yeah, besides the people that I already mentioned, I'll go out of the musician realm because all of them were cool. I mean, there was not one musician I met that was a dick. They were all legit, and they just showed up. They did their job. They joked around, sitting around afterwards, and then they left. But I did. I met Wayne Knight Newman from Seinfeld.
Oh, there we go. I was like, why do I know
I
that
met him
name?
at Ralph's at the grocery store. He was just standing in line behind me wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and he had compression stockings up to his knees. And just BS'd with him for 20 seconds. And, you know, he knew I knew who he was. But, and then also I met, this is a little different. He probably didn't enjoy it so much, but I met George Wendt, Norm from Cheers.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
oddly enough, it was at a bar. So I'm at a bar. It's like
His
1 in the
natural
morning,
habitat.
and, yeah, and me and my coworkers were a couple drinks in, and all of a sudden I look over, and who is it? It's Norm. So I ambled on over, and Norm, how's it going? He shook his hand and the whole thing, and then came back. About 10 seconds later, I turned around, he's gone.
Like, I've been here before.
Yeah, but you know, 1 in the morning's not the best time to meet most people. So that was just sort of one of those things that happened. But you know, those people live there, and then you run into them at the grocery store or the gas station, or yeah, there was many times where, and I was only there for a year, but there's a lot of times I'd go, you know, me and my buddies were going somewhere, and we'd stop at the gas station and come out, and somebody would be like, hey, did you see what was in there? You know, just some guy buying a pack of smokes or a Coke or something like that, and it turns out that they're, you know, a big deal. So yeah, LA's interesting. I wish I could meet George Wendt again and do it right. 'Cause I'm sure he's heard
One of
that
those
one
regretful
before.
moments. Yep.
Yeah, but you know, it is what it is. So but yeah, there's you meet someone every other day, particularly if you're working with people that are in the business, and they've got clients, and they come in and you meet them, and you see
Realize
who
they're
does the
regular people
voiceover.
too, huh?
Yeah, you see the guy that does the voiceover for all the soap operas, and you meet the guy that plays guitar for Cheap Trick. You know, you just, these things just sort of happen there. So it's, you know, we're removed out here in the Midwest. I like that though, but there is something to be said for just being where all the fire is, and being a part of it. But the other thing you can do is work with those people from afar, and I like that too. Minnesota's pretty nice, and it's quiet, and it's you know, it's what I'm familiar with, so I can do sort of the same thing here. I work with some people across the pond in London and Wales. Chris Hurley fantastic singer, and Jack Pitsey, he used to be a documentarian for the BBC, and he wrote a musical about, and it's been 7 years now, but he wrote a musical and he came to us for the music. And so Chris and I wrote like 20 songs for that. We're still trying to get it on the stage. Turns out getting a musical produced is a pain in the balls. It's doable. It's doable, but like, you know, the guy that did Rent, it took him 7 years to get it on stage, and then he died right before it went on. You know, like it was. There's, it's a stressful business. So my wife is really into musicals, and I've written a couple with her as well. It's a part of the business that you just go, you know, what would be cool is if we could get this on stage and get people that actually know how to sing and produce it and do it up. And some things that you envision and hope will happen, and some things don't or don't yet. But we're working on it. There's a, you know, a couple of years ago with when everything kind of shut down, it was like, well, not a good time to be in musicals. so that kind of worked itself out. You know, it's like, oh, well, I guess I'll work from home. Turns out I've been doing that for 15 years anyway, so who cares? It's the same thing. Yeah. Anyway.
No, one foot in front of the other. You're trudging on, making, yeah, just for you and for me and all that. You're getting into unseen territory. It's something like with the musicals and all that. So.
Yeah, well, it's a whole different thing, and you know, like you listen to Jim Steinman, the guy who produced Meatloaf, all those songs that are so over the top and epic and everything, they're perfect for the stage. And my wife wrote a musical based off those songs, and then it just comes down to, well, how the hell do we get that on stage? We got to get the rights. I think Steinman just died. Meatloaf doesn't own the rights. All that's, it's nuts.
Oh,
yeah, which is, it's a bummer, because it could be and should be and could very easily be great. You just have to make it happen, and there are
precisely
people willing to take a chance on making things happen, and then most people aren't.
Yep.
So that's what I deal with the most, is people that aren't, and you ask and you present. We did this. Do you want to be a part of it? We need your money. And that's just part of the business, man. Somebody's got to pay for it. And,
how the game is played.
Yourself, and you can pull up your bootstraps, and 10 years down the road, you make it all happen, and you do everything yourself. But we all need help. And so you find things that you're good at, and you basically focus on that, I guess. I'm figuring it out. I don't know. But that's,
well, I'm sure you're learning new stuff every single day, because just from the technology alone, that just keeps moving so fast. So.
Yeah, there's a lot that I'm missing, and I should probably start catching up, but I have the tools I need for now, is pretty much the way I look at it. And, you know, I've been using some of the same software for 18 years. Not like the old days. Cool Edit Pro, and
I love Cool Edit Pro.
And the IBM PS2 with 1 meg of RAM.
The 5150, I wish I had that. Oh, man. As you can see in here, I got my, at least I have an Apple computer collection. I got my Apple IIe sitting in front of me. You can kind of see another one from behind me.
Yeah.
All working. I got the SE over, just a bunch of Apple stuff. But I do have some old Commodores and a PC Junior that I picked up. But I still have nostalgia from that 5150 that I got from you guys. And just going online for the first time, and the things just, you know, the green screen is just kind of just typing itself out in front of you. There's no graphics or anything. It was awesome.
I like the rotary phone. That's a nice touch.
Oh yeah, that's one of them.
Yep. And, you know, to the viewers, Wade sent me a gift about 1.5, 2 years ago. It was a jazz drive from back in the day.
You may have to explain that to some people.
Yeah, that's, you know, I've got a gigabyte that I want to save, and you put it on a jazz drive, and then you have to, it literally is a linear tape.
Yep. It's like an old floppy disk, except it's just really thick.
Yeah, so I've got all these jazz discs from the 90s, and he sent me the jazz drive, but he didn't send me a frickin' cable.
No.
So I don't know how to connect. Plus, even if he did, it wouldn't connect to anything. It's like it goes into the printer port or something. Those were the days. So, old school. Yeah, we're old.
It's beautiful. Well, you can find Dan at Punch Music and Mayhem Music. We have the links down below. Do you have anything that you're working on right now or anything you want to say? Or basically, let's wrap this thing up. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, let's wrap this thing up, I guess. Yeah, we're always working on something. So I'm about 3 to 4 weeks behind at any given day on any projects that are coming up. So yeah, we're looking at a couple of releases. We've got we're very excited. We've got a catalog that we're going to be launching here in March.
Wow.
Hopefully.
Okay.
And that's with a company that we just started working with. So that should be a pretty nice rollout. Basically, just dropping a whole lot of material and then continuing on from there. Other than that, we're just looking for whatever's next and trying to give people what they want. Give them the good stuff.
Excellent, excellent. So there again, Punch Music and Mayhem Music. You can find him he's down in the Minneapolis area in Cottage Grove, did you say?
That's the Grove.
That's the Grove. That's where he's at. So he's not too far away from everybody. And you can hear he does really, really, really good work. And I've known that for years and years and years. You can also hear at the end here with our end bumper, that whole Avalon thing. That was recorded by yours truly up there. One chaotic night, we somehow got 5 tunes pushed in through, or was it only 4? 4 tunes, and then he had you're just randomly recording our singer just barking off.
Are you talking about Piece of Me or what?
Yep, the Piece of Me little EP that we put together there.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Speaking of randomly putting microphones around a drum kit and hoping for the best, right?
Hey, I think it sounds great.
We did that live, man. There was no multi-tracking on that. That was live, and
we had no choice. I think I had 2 shots at that and we were done.
Yeah. Hey, do you remember that remix?
Yes, and I was going to ask you after the words if you still have a copy of that, because I know somebody sent me a copy of it, and I don't know what computer it's on. I can't figure out what happened to it.
I do, yeah, absolutely. I'll shoot it your way. But here's the funny thing about that song. You called me on the phone in 1990.
9
or something.
8, yeah.
For the summer, and we had recorded that, and we did the remix, and you called me, and you're like, turn on the radio, dude. And so I turned on the radio, and you told me to go whatever channel, and they were playing it on the radio. That's the first time I ever heard anything of mine on the radio or TV. It was really cool, and it's a great track to this day. So
I know that whole Piece of Me album got played on the radio because what was it? T-Bone was doing that at the time. I can't remember the name of the show, but yeah, he had us in there doing an interview, and he just basically played every single track from that thing. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. You did great, Dan. We loved it. Still do.
Cool.
So again, it's great having you on. We're going to have to bring you back on because I know there's a ton of stories behind everything that you've done and all that. And, maybe we can get some more questions and all that fun stuff. Let's see. I got a oh my God and a someone's offline. So.
Oh, right. I'll take the oh my God.
That's about it. So thanks for coming on again, Dan. We'll get you back on. Hopefully we can bring you down to the studio too. You can see all this fancy stuff from the 80s and 70s and all my Laserdisc collection from hell. So
yeah, maybe you can get me that cable for the jazz drum.
Maybe I might have one down here. You have to just match it on up. So remember, if your drummer has more charisma than your front man, your band may be in trouble. But that's why my band's doing just fine. So until next time.
It's just a little baby turtle. Look at him go.
Wait, wasn't he with what's her nuts? Back in what was her name? Melody? No.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm going back to the 90s.
Yep.
Yeah, talk